Hi, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Nate, and welcome to the Monopoly Couple YouTube channel. What's the topic for today?
Frustrations, fighting, rah. No, I mean, so sort of, yes.
Yeah, definitely one or two very large arguments we got into.
Yes.
Primarily at the start of this process.
No, yeah, both of the stories we're going to share are from the 3 years ago and 2.5 years ago.
Yep.
We haven't had a blowout like this.
Yeah.
Really?
In a long time.
Yeah.
Probably since,
a couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of years.
Yeah.
Those are two bad ones, though.
They're real bad.
Let's get into that.
Yeah, and I talk about them in my book that comes out.
Oh, yeah.
February. It's called Opened. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so I just got dumped from my boyfriend, and Nate was out of the country.
When was this? About 3 years ago?
This was exactly 3 years ago, mid-November.
Okay.
And was not expecting the relationship to end, and that did not feel good. And you were really supportive.
Yeah, I was on a flight, I think, when you actually got dumped.
Yep.
Back to the States. But then when I landed, yes, I was as supportive as I could on the phone. You know,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard. I'm not here, obviously. Yeah. So, yeah.
So what was your thought of what should Courtney do?
I thought, in my mind, I was like, well, Courtney had this really traumatic event happen. I think she should probably take a little break, gather herself, figure out what went well, what didn't go well, what she wants, what she doesn't want. You know, I'm gone. I think it was gone for a week or so. Yeah. So, you know, thinking that we would talk, we'd go through that, we'd process. And then, you know, when I got back or, you know, a week later, a couple weeks later, she would get back on the apps if that's something she wanted. And then, you know, sort her, you know, feelings out. Sure, that's not what I was going to say, but feelings out before she got back on the apps. That's what I thought was going to happen. And I also thought we sort of talked about that, but I don't think I was explicit in saying that.
Yeah, I don't.
In my head, I was, though.
Yeah.
So how'd that progress then?
So after a couple days, I, didn't feel my feelings and was really depressed and missing this hole that I had in my life now with my boyfriend no longer being there. And I wanted to fill it. So I got back on the apps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Within a couple of days?
Couple of days, yeah. And I told Nate, I said, one night, I have a video call with a guy, because at this point, he asked anytime I was going to have a video call with somebody, he wanted to know beforehand. Now he doesn't care. But at the time, so the rule or the boundary was, can you please tell me when you have a video call? So he said, I have a video call with this guy tonight. How'd that go?
Oh, not so good. I mean, I'm in the States again at this time because it's only been a couple of days. I was so mad. I think it might have been about the maddest I've ever been with you. It's pretty close.
No way. There's been way more times. Amsterdam was way worse.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's also.
We did a whole episode on my story time. One of my biggest mistakes. That was in Amsterdam.
Okay. Then yes, I guess I wasn't that mad. So.
See? I've made you way more mad.
I was just so confused and frustrated and didn't understand why, it didn't seem like anything would get better. It just seems like you were just trying to, like you said, fill the hole.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, you may have done some work since then to figure out why, but, I was furious. I was so mad at the time.
Why do you think you were so mad?
Because I thought that it was what was going to change. So I'm a person that processes things sort of linearly. So, you know, when something happens, you sort of process that, you figure out what went well, what didn't go well, and then you move on to the next thing. But you need to process that information first. I'm kind of an internal processor, obviously. And so for me, that was what everybody should do, because that's what I do. And it works so great.
One size fits all.
One size fits all. That is not what happened though. So I think that's why I think that you and I it was very early on. We hadn't communicated what it looks like when you have a breakup, how you know, your processing of that would go. And I also wasn't here. So I think I also felt some jealousy and abandonment as well, or maybe that's not the right word, but I was frustrated that I wasn't part of the process and wasn't able to even be there for you or help you process it, you know, together, because your relationships also affect, you know, us. And
for sure.
As well.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So, but we got through it. How did we get through it?
We got through it because once I was calm, I was able to explain, I think, why I felt, you know, sort of misguided or not heard or misunderstood, and kind of what I thought the expectations were. And again, the expectations were more in my head, I think, than actually out loud for us. And so I think that's what we do, work through that. And we sort of developed, I guess, rules, procedures, processes, or whatever. So how, you know, you and I together would manage a breakup and sort of going forward. So
yeah. And I've only had a few breakups since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've been awesome and super supportive.
Yeah, it's been
through
way
that.
better. And there's been breakups where I wasn't even around. So again, it's not necessarily about being physically present. It's just like how we learn to process it together and sort of move forward. So yeah. Also, it's in the book though. So
It's in the book.
A lot more details.
So, lots more explicit language and talking.
Yes.
Okay, you want to talk about the other one?
Yeah,
Do we
real
have
fast.
time?
Yeah,
okay.
let's do it.
So the one that was pretty bad also was about 6 months after this. And I was driving to an appointment and got a phone call from the guy I was dating and was talking with him. And then Nate called and I declined Nate's call. And then Nate called back like 30 seconds later and I answered it. And he was like, did you just reject me? And I said, yeah. And he was like, who are you talking to? I said, Bill. And he was like, I'm supposed to be your husband. That's supposed to matter. And it
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the book too. It's in the book too.
All right.
And it just, and I said, why does it matter? Like if I was talking to my mom, would that have made a difference if I had rejected your call? And then you like wouldn't talk to me. And
yeah, again, I just didn't feel like the priority, right? And so in my head, it was that I was, sort of lower down. And again, we've talked about how the world and my sort of, like hierarchical, like it's hard for my brain to process that, anything other than that. And so, but in general, like she and I don't, like when one of us calls, we do our best to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And so I think because I knew you were on the phone with this person who you had just seen, right?
A few days ago. I
Yeah.
think.
Well, like relatively recently.
Yeah, not like that day,
Yeah.
but yeah.
The like, why wouldn't you just pick up the phone? Like you can call him back. Like it wasn't even important. I'm sure it was not important. I was so mad, so furious. I just, again, felt that rejection of the phone call was a rejection of me. And then that made me, like very defensive. And again, angry and frustrating. And I've worked through why that is. Again, this is a whole side conversation, but, and so I think I was pissed. I was so mad. I was just like, again, I felt rejected by the rejection of the call, as if that phone call was a representation of me and that you were choosing, again, this is probably where it comes from. You were choosing someone or something else over me.
Yep.
Even though, again, I know now that it's not how the world works and things like that. But I felt that Courtney chose something else. And then, of course, because I was still figuring out how I felt about the dating for Courtney and all that stuff, like we were still in the midst of that in the beginning. And so then that just compounded everything and it just like, exponential like blow up, I think, from that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Would you be mad if that happened again now?
No, I don't think so. Like, I don't think it has maybe happened now, but if you did, I would understand. But you would do, I think, I think now, honestly, you would let me know when you were driving, like when you'd be available. Like you do a good job of like communicating like, hey, like I'm gonna be listening to a podcast or I'm gonna talk to my mom, and you send me a little voice note or something. Or you give me a call before and you're like, hey, I'm, I have this half-an-hour drive. I plan to do this thing. Yeah. So that the expectations are clear. And now I don't react like that anymore. So.
No, I wouldn't say that you would. And I also think too, I didn't really want to talk to you then at that point.
No doubt.
So now I love talking to you.
No
so
doubt.
I usually will be like, if I'm on the phone with my sister or even somebody I'm dating, I'll be like, hey, I got to call you right back. And I'll take Nate's call. Unless it's like an actual, like emotionally charged conversation or whatever, then I'll text Nate and be like, hey, I'll call you later, or, whatever.
Yeah, even if you reject the call now, I don't think I would react the same way.
No, you don't. But I also would follow up better with you if I was talking to somebody else and explain to you why. Whereas before I had no desire to do that.
I get it.
So,
all right. A little bit of a different
also,
video
this one's also in the book, and it really leads to a huge thing in our family. So definitely be pumped for that.
A lot of processing went on.
So soon.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for watching.
Oh wait, have they subscribed?
Yes.
Oh, we would love it if you subscribed.
Please like and subscribe as we grow the channel. We appreciate all your support. And we'll wrap it up there. So as always, we say to each other,
Can't stop, won't stop.
Thank you guys.
Bye.